All right, and welcome back to another Conquest Corner. On this one, I have just received my first bit of Sorcerer Kings. Ordered this pretty much directly from the website. I have some other stuff coming in from my local store as well, but ordered this from the website. Keep in mind, if you're looking to get anything kind of stuff, we have a code in the show notes. Save yourself 10% on any of this or whatever else you decide to get. So, got the starter box, Kaha Maharaj here. Thought of this video, we're just going to open it, take a look at a few of these things. These are some of the first kits, at least that I've worked with, in a little bit that aren't like brute or anything larger in general, but also aren't multi-kits. So kind of curious what that's going to look at, but take a look at this little guy first. Hopefully the video and all comes out all right. We'll see. But kind of watching, I have a little bit of lighting issues in here. It's good lighting for everything except this, which is fine. Oh, okay. When they give you bases now, they give you the fancy bases that actually fit the magnets in it, which actually for me is a little bit worse because actually the way I magnetize mine, I guess maybe I'll do it backwards now. But what I normally do for magnetizing mine is I put metal blanks in the bottom and then magnets on my models. I'll probably have to do the blanks on the other thing and the magnets in these, but that's fine. So we have his card, of course. We have his different rituals that he can do. Remember, what they do for all of these now is they put a QR code. That way you can scan it. That way, if it's ever updated in the future, this card doesn't become incorrect. If you want to know what it does, you can just enter it, look at it on your phone and all. It's on the app, everything like that. But that was just nice and easy. And of course, it has the standard backs because these have to be able to go into your deck. So, taking a look at himself. Luckily, he's resin, which I'm fine with. I have no problem with their resin. I'm not huge on resins in general. I like a lot more the metal. But we notice actually he's very, very few pieces. He's essentially mostly just the main one piece for his body. Great detail on that. Resin-wise, so they do exceptionally good resins. There's other companies that have done great resins in the past as well. Spartan Games, when they were around, did really good resin. GW has gotten much better with the resins, but honestly, they're just not quite this good. If you look, you can see all the little filigree and stuff like that on his back. Got his head there. I know they also said, for anyone who hasn't watched, that these ones are a little bit closer to, Court of Fire by the look, but they are in the future going to give you other options as well. We see, essentially, this would be what is effectively his right hand, right there. And we see the other piece, which actually, for his staff, you can tell good resin, really one way. And taking a look straight on, a little bent, but honestly, not that much. Straight resin is always a problem. For anything like this, a few different ways you could do it. If you happen to have a heat gun, put a little bit of heat gun on it, pull it to the natural position. Other option, get some hot water, usually not quite boiling, although I have done near boiling before. Dip it in, adjust it correctly wherever you want it to be, and then dip it in colder water. Resin resets itself when you do that. So that way then it'll actually stay straight. If all you do is essentially try to bend it, anything like that, over time it'll come back. You actually do have to essentially change its memory, and that's what that'll do. A little bit of flash, but otherwise he looks really, really good. Very slippery, but that's mold release agent. Make sure if you work with resin models, in case this is, say, the first time you've worked with a bunch of resin, if you're working with any resin models, you have to take them a bath. Easiest way to do the bath, in case you haven't done this before, I have a colander that's just used for resin models. And what I do is I put them in the colander. Ooh, this little base. I put them in a colander. I put it with some just Dawn dish detergent. I put that in a little bowl so my colander fits inside a bowl. Actually, do I have it right over here? No, it's upstairs. I was going to grab it, but actually I don't have it nearby. Put it in there, put the dish soap in, mix it around, pop him in. After a little while, once I think he's been there enough, I take a very soft bristle toothbrush and I just kind of scrub across the model a little bit. You do that because going in the dish detergent does a pretty good job of removing the mold release agent, but not always. And if you have any of it on there, when you prime the model, primer will have a little bit of an issue sticking. That makes the paint have an issue sticking. It can actually just kind of peel off. So you do want to make sure you do that. Even if they say they wash it, I don't know if Parabellum Games says they do, but even if a company says they wash it, just do this anyway. All right, Let's take a look at the big boy box. 52 miniatures. That's 52 more things to paint. As soon as I'm done painting, I probably only got about 30 or so skeletons left, and then some other things for that particular army. So, look at the back. They've showed us all that's supposed to be in here, so we know the things that we're looking for here. We know we're supposed to get 6 stanza goals, 6 stanza Roger Kerr, 3 of the Efreet, and our leader hanging out right over there. So, let's see what we get. Maybe I'll do it so it's not upside down for those watching. But the other thing in this box that I have over there, they essentially have an advertisement for the new army, and I'm sure they have it for all their pieces here. So we got bases, of course. Let's see, what did they actually give us? So they give us some information. What did they give us? So this is something they started doing. So they tell you, okay, you're a warband. Hey, you know, these become all your mainstay options. They show, okay, for this one, so they say here, hey, here's what you get. You know, you can take a look at some other different mainstays. So they're giving you some different sort of build options related to the things that are either out now or coming out in the near future, the things that we know. I do like that. So they're kind of showing you what those different army pieces can take. They explain to you exactly how this works. So this is your first time fielding a force. They explain what it means to have a war band, to be able to put your army together. Okay. Quick start guides, which is interesting with the fact that this is just purely a one player. This isn't the 2-player one. So they talk about it being the 1-player set. So they give you just, looks like a brief rules overview. I haven't actually got one of these in any of my sets. I haven't gotten a 5th edition box yet. This is probably for the 5th edition boxes. Tell you how to read the cards. They tell you how to maneuver, which is very, very important, how to actually reinforce your forces. A very nice looking picture. I like that. It looks to be what? Some Dweghome. I see more Dweghome. And then some Spire, some different Avatar over there. Oh yeah, they're fighting at the bottom of one of the structures, essentially. How to charge, how to clash. Test the morale. How to find some scenarios. So they give you all the basic rules, enough to be able to start playing. How to find your different scenarios. How to actually get essentially the rest of the rules. How to put your army together, all of that. So they give you enough. They give you 2 of these. I'm assuming they're identical. Oh, sorry, this one's First Blood. That's for me. I didn't even read it. I will be honest, I don't know how to play First Blood. Maybe one of these days I'll try it, but I actually don't know how. Let's see if the instructions are better than they used to be. I will say that's one thing this company used to do, which was not really great instructions. So they still highlight how the actual sprue looks. Not too bad. They are denoting, hopefully, all the numbers. One of the biggest problems you can see here, actually, if you take a look, and we'll look at this on the sprues itself, you show the numbers everywhere. On some of the older sprues, that wasn't always the case. Or if they did this, they wouldn't actually show you what numbers you needed. The main thing for some of these, say when we take a look at the Roger Kerr, you just need to know, okay, it's a body, 2 arms, weapon, shield, 2 parts of the head, boom, there you go. When it's your leader, hey, just denote the very special things that go in your leader. Denote the very special things that go in your stand-up bearer. So, all right. All right, sorry about that. My camera setup here is a little bit iffy. But what they give us is a map. Okay. So, what are we looking at? This has to be their lands, essentially. Let me move this out of the way so I can put it a little further down. So, we're looking at, I would essentially think of at the Sorcerer Kings lands, its own little island here, led by the different parts. I go through the lore one faction at a time. I've looked through a bit of theirs, but not to the extent to be able to talk about all the little details here. But I do like that as an including. I think that's kind of neat. You know, I'm not young, so I'm not going to really be doing anything with it, but I just like that we have it. We got more bases. I'm sure we got even more bases. Oh yeah, they're there. Even more. Get all those out of there. Oh man, look at all these sprues now we got to work with. Base I got separate. What's this? Sticker. Actually, my wife, so my wife has a baking business. One thing she does is she puts stickers all over her money box. So I'm absolutely going to give this to her, and she can put this so the next time we're at an event, people know that we're cool, or at least that I'm cool. She's cool by association. They did mention that they were putting this in. So actually for movement, this is good. I have a few different widgets that I use, but I am liking the fact that it's actually made of wood. So it's actually pretty sturdy, has their symbols on it and all. Again, I'm actually honestly probably going to use it because I do actually like these sort of tools and all. So that is actually pretty neat. Stack of our cards with all of our characters, all our pieces. One thing I'm curious about is how many Roger Kerr and Gaul's cards did they give us? Okay, so they did give us 2 of each, 1 of each of those, and then the different rituals that he can take. I was hoping they had 2 just in case we needed it. I wasn't sure. And let's take a look at what they actually did for the sprues. One thing you'll notice if you're new to this, they try to minimize plastic on the sprues, so that's why there's no top and bottom to the sprue. So this is obviously for one of the free, because you can see the giant swords there. That's probably what no, I was about to say maybe that's what all the little ones are, but they're not. These are the Gauls for sure. You can see, all right. I know a lot of them looked like their bodies had holes in it. None of this actually looks like a hole. If you actually take a look, there's not actually any of the hole missing. There's a little bit of an indent, but not the holes like we saw in some of the pieces, which is probably better. That's not going to be an easy effect to do, but no, I'm not seeing that. If these are repetitious sprues, and they definitely do seem to be, so it looks like on one of them, that's a front, part of a back, so it looks like these probably go together, so that should be 1, 2, probably should be 3 on each, or actually 4, because it should be actually a stand. Oop. All right. Almost caused another problem with my camera setup. My apologies for that. Well, actually, if we have, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, 1 stand each. All right. These are the rest of the freet. So you have the swords, or in case you're actually doing them as the range, like I said, for these guys, I'm doing swords. I'll do the range for when we get the air elementals in. And these should be mostly Roger Kerr then. Yep. We see we have our flag. Okay. So yeah, lots of shields. So I know at least for me, what I did, I try to do like a 3 stand with same shields or most of the same shields. So with this, you shouldn't have too many of them on here. You shouldn't necessarily need all the shields, so maybe you can actually do that. Based off of the weapons on the side, it looks like you should have 3. Sorry, you should have 3 of them, and then there's your leader. So you can actually make it where you're not using every type of shield, and you can kind of go from some similarities. I usually like that personally. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I didn't notice the character on anything. Yeah, these are just the base Roger Kerr. So we have those. What is he on? That's a really good question that I now have that I'm not sure where he is. They don't actually put his things down. What's this? Oh, he's over here. That's why. He's in white plastic. Oh, one of the guy's heads popped off. Sorry, he's resin, and I totally didn't see him. It's a white box with a white thing. So there he is. So he is just 2 arms the piece. He'll go together very, very simply. He is not nearly as slick. Might be because of all the pieces he has, but he doesn't feel nearly as slick as the other one did. So curious how well his arms are going to stick in. For me personally, also with resin, some people assemble them first, Some people wash them, then assemble them. I usually, for something like this, I would assemble it first, unless there was little nooks and crannies that you had no chance of getting into. I don't think that's going to be the case here. For this guy, this is supposed to be for his down arm. So, have to clean that a little bit, but that will fit in pretty good there. His sword. His sword is, if you take a look, that's pretty straight. I'm not even going to do anything with that one. That's pretty straight. Do have to clip that little bit there, but then you'll be able to get a sword coming from the back side of his head. And pop them in just like that. So, plans then. Plans for all this. I might be working on some of them tomorrow. Hopefully going to work on them some but tomorrow. If I don't, I have a 40K tournament on Sunday that I'm running. If I don't have to play in it for any reason, then I'm going to be assembling all of this because I have a whole nother box coming in as soon as it makes its way to me. My local store ordered it. I think it should hopefully be in within another day or two, but it might take a little bit longer. Sometimes that happens. Shipping in this world is still a bit of a nightmare at times. But you should hopefully look forward to seeing both. I'll do some tutorials related to this once I put them together, related to painting, all those sort of processes. What I'd also like to do is get them on camera soon for actual games. Like I said, in about 2 weeks, I have a tournament that I'm playing in. I might be able to play these guys if I can put enough of it together. If not, then should be recording a game with either Dan, Steve, or one of the other local players near us with however many points of these I can muster in a pretty short form. Once we hit the end of the month and the Rakshasa and all that come out, then we'll be at full-fledged 2,000 point games. Otherwise, if I do it earlier, it'll either be smaller points or we'll just be proxying some things while we wait for the rest of it to come in. All right, that is the unboxing for this. You'll see some more things coming up for Conquest in the future. Actually, I'm going to be recording something else for Conquest, probably actually maybe even later tonight, if not early tomorrow. I'm doing the Why You Should Play City States is up next. Dweg Home is mostly ready as well, but City States is good to go. The Dweg Home one I'm probably going to do later this week, if not early next week. So you should be able to see that. As well as, like I said, we'll be recording some videos related to more units, list building, all of that in the very near future. All right, on behalf of everyone here at the show, have some good hobbying and some great gaming.